Welcome to the Sure Sales Group Show, episode 35. And today I wanted to talk to you about how we answer the question, why should you hire us? You know, I had a friend from high school who was looking to buy a house, and he made me work for it a little bit. He said, Andrew, why should I hire you? And it made me think, at first I was thinking, how dare you? You already know why you should hire me, but he wanted me to explain it. This is a professional salesperson. So I gave him the steps, and essentially what I told him, and I broke it down for him, were these four key things, which I'm going to share here with you today. And they're four very important things, and unfortunately in our industry, a lot of people don't have even one of the four. So a quick stat, the National Association of Realtors put out these numbers that half of the realtors in the National Association of Realtors, half of them sold 0 houses so far this year. It's a dangerous statistic because you don't know who you're working with, and when you're about to buy or sell your for many people, their biggest, largest financial investment, you want to know you're working with someone who can get the job done and who's polished and who just knows what's going on. So why hire us? Here's the four things. We know real estate. Now let me explain that. You think, of course, they should know real estate, but a lot of people don't. You really got to scratch your head when you're dealing with another real estate professional and they don't know the paperwork, they don't know the process. They're not selling tens and tens of homes a year, 400 plus like we're going to do. So you really have to know the process. And the process is different in every county, in every city. It's different depending on how the contract is written. The process is not black and white. It shifts and changes depending on so many different variables, from the buyer, the location, the loan type, what's going on with the property, the lot size, the well, the septic, the title work involved, a whole bunch of stuff. So you have to know the process. We know the process really well. And I'm going to keep coming back to the fact that, based on Malcolm Gladwell's finding, you need to have 10,000 hours to really know something, to really have mastered something. 10,000 hours works out to about 5 years worth of full-time work. Well, my business partner, Joe Sacchetti, who's been helping me for a long time, he's been kicking ass doing this since I was 16. I've been doing it for 8 years now myself. So in terms of real estate, we know the process. 2 is you have to have good relationships with the other agents, the other people who you are going to be working with on the other side of these transactions. So one thing here at the Sure Sales Group that I know for certain is we have great relationships with the other agents in the marketplace. We do a lot of business and we do it the right way, so there's a mutual respect. That's a very key issue and a key thing to look for when you're going to hire an agent. Do they know the process? Do they have good relationships with the real estate community who are going to directly impact your outcome? Do they know lenders? Do they have good relationships with banks, brokers, correspondent lenders, lines of credit? Do they have the relationships, and do they understand what's going on in the current lending climate? When you're going to go sell your home, even if you're not getting the loan yourself, you're selling your home, your agent needs to know everything there is to know about the financing, from the conventional loan to a cash purchase to an FHA deal to a VA deal. The last thing you want to run into is not understanding the buyer's perspective on how they're going to get the money to give to you when you sell it. And of course, you need to know all about it for a buyer as well, to make sure your buyers are going to be in the right position at the right time with the right situation to get the right loan with the right interest rates, so your cash out of pocket and your monthly payment is where it needs to be. Again, these are basic things, but you need to know real estate. When you hire an agent, you just need to know all this. The title. Do you have good working relationships with the attorneys? Do you know the difference between a fee simple and a ground rent, and how to check to make sure the title's clear and make sure all the liens are released so the seller can give the buyer a property free and clear of any liens? So titles are very important. And then of course I did another episode on this, but your inspections are crucial. Not just the type of inspections, but how you negotiate the inspection, how much time you have to do the inspections. And again, this is very different for every property. And of course, you need to have good relationships with all the different inspectors so that you're going to take your call and they like working with you and they're going to give your buyer a fair price or help your seller fix the issues. And then finally, the paperwork. You know, it's unbelievable how many times a contract can get kicked back based on some compliance things. Hey, you missed these initials. You didn't realize you needed this addendum. In a nutshell, you got to know real estate. So why should you hire us? We know real estate. We've had hundreds of thousands of hours perfecting this craft with 18 full-time people. That's all we do is eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff. We know real estate. Next, so just because you know this doesn't mean you're going to be any good. There's a lot of people who know everything there is to know about real estate, but they don't make any money. And that's because you gotta understand sales. And sales is a profession that when I ask you, hey, when you think of salesperson, what's the first thing you think of? You think of a greasy car salesman, someone trying to make you uncomfortable. Hey, buy this sign here. That's not what sales is about. And I was fortunate enough to get trained at a very young age, starting at 22 to where I am now. I'm 30 years old as of this recording. I've had tons of sales training, and what a real salesperson does is finds out exactly what you want and how to give it to you and remove all the friction from the process and protect you throughout. The reason salespeople get such a bad name is because anyone will hire someone in a sales job because you don't really have to pay them anything unless they sell something. And then people get desperate, they have commission breath, and they give salespeople this bad vibe, and that's why so many people fail at it. It's because they don't have the training. So, you know, this sales topic is a big one. I'm just going to touch on it briefly, but you need to be able to deliver value. You need to be able to communicate with people and connect with people when you meet them, not just you as a potential client, but who's going to be our buyer? Who else are we going to have to work with and have some level of emotional intelligence to navigate this thing and not get emotionally charged when we're really just trying to focus on our goal and get you to go to the bank or get you what you want, which is either get this house, get this investment property, sell for a high dollar. You need someone who's even keel, who gets it, who can get the win-win outcome, who's trained, and just because she's yelling at me and he's yelling at me and this husband and wife can't say the same thing, we're laser focused because we're professional salespeople. You know, 85% of people fail as a realtor, and it's probably because first of all, they never knew this, but they also never got this, which is how to effectively orchestrate a sales transaction in a professional manner the way it's supposed to be done. There's a reason that sales professionals get paid more than anyone else, because it's quite hard to do. So I mentioned the communication, the emotional intelligence, the training. So if you know real estate and you know sales, you're in a pretty good spot. You still need these other two things equally as crucial. Third, you need to know how to negotiate. Negotiation, everyone understands the concept of it, but if you're not doing it every day and able to read situations and understand exactly what your client is looking for, you're not going to be able to orchestrate an outcome for your client. So a saying that I've said before is, you get paid in direct proportion to the information you gather, not the information you give. I can spout information all day when I'm trying to negotiate. That's not what it's about. It's gathering the information, gathering the intel, so we can use it to effectively negotiate to our advantage. So negotiation is key. You got to gather the intel, and you can't be, unfortunately we see it in this industry a lot, sometimes these agents or these salespeople need the deal so bad that they're going to get pushy and they're going to start doing desperate stuff, and you can see it from a mile away. If you're with a good salesperson, we're about to crush that situation for your benefit. But you can't be desperate. You can't need the deals. We don't need the deals. We're doing plenty of business, but we want more because we're good at negotiating for you. And you got to have the tools. You have to have the training. These two are very similar. They're different, but they're similar. Conducting a sales transaction and knowing how to negotiate go hand in hand a lot. There's a lot of overlap in the skills, but they're two totally separate kind of silos of a skill set. So you got to be effective in both. And then finally, especially on the sales side, you got to know how to market. So there's a lot of agents who know the real estate, they know everything, they've been doing it forever. There's also a lot of them who are pretty good salespeople. They're not awkward, they're not weird, they set the right expectations, they follow through and make sure everything's going the right way. A lot of them are good at negotiation. If you have these three, you're gonna be pretty damn good. You'll probably have a career in real estate, which is only 15% of the people who try to. Marketing is something that changes so fast and so often that you need marketing. Back to this 10,000 hours thing, this 5 years worth of full-time work, you need to have someone who knows marketing, who's been all in on marketing for the last 5 years. That's these last 5 years. 2013 to about to be 2018. How you market 2013 to 2018 is probably a little different than how you did it 5 years before and 5 years before. Shit, how we did it last year is totally different than how we do it now. So why should you hire us? We know marketing. And just a quick bullet points, we take excellent photos. We go all in on the photography. We do 16:9 aspect ratio instead of 4:3. We do high resolution, HDR, 4K, all the right stuff on photo. We do videos of every single house now, whether it's a slideshow, whether we're doing an actual video walkthrough with a drone. We're doing a video because we know that performs better on social media. Now, I'm not going to beat the Facebook, Instagram, Google, Twitter to death like I normally do, but you got to know how to profile a target a profile, I should say. If you are selling your house in Falston, we know those buyers are more likely in this demographic with this much income and they probably live in this area. If you're trying to sell your home in Canton, we know the buyers based on the price point, the age, the location. We have all of the profile targeting capabilities and we target them with effective language and effective marketing with photos and videos. And all that has to tie into a CRM system, which we have the best in the business, called Boomtown. CRM, a customer relationship management system, that all ties into your marketing, and you have to have a refined process. When you go to list a home, how do we make sure we're getting the most eyeballs on it? How are we going to make sure all the brokers know about it? How do we make sure all the new buyers are going to see it? How do we make sure all the buyers already working with an agent are going to see it? How do we communicate with them? How do we show the value? And once we get the conversation started, are you going to be good enough to move it down the process? Are you going to be able to sell effectively and not be what most people think salespeople are? The best salespeople don't act like salespeople at all because they don't have to. Because they're not desperate, they're not pushy. They just deliver value in a way that you want, in the modality that you want. You want to text, we're texting. Email, we're emailing, call, however you want to do it, a good salesperson is going to do that for you. Now, can we negotiate? And then all the while, I hope we know. I hope whoever you're hiring knows the whole real estate end of the deal. So if you're not an expert in real estate, and then our tagline that we bang on forever is sales, negotiation, and marketing. This is why you earn your fee, because you're good at sales, negotiation, and marketing. That's it. Sales, negotiation, and marketing. You see it on all of our stuff. Sales, negotiation, and marketing. Everywhere. It's got to be sales, negotiation, and marketing. And of course, you have to know this. So why should you hire us? We know real estate, we know sales, we know marketing, and we know we want to work with you. Thanks so much for watching. I look forward to hearing your feedback, and we'll check in soon. Thanks. Oh, by the way, here's what we see a lot. Most agents know this. They know the real estate if they've been around for a while. Most people are in and out, but the ones who stay tend to know this really well. They know the contract, they know the addenda, they know how the process works. They're real estate people. Where they fail is sales, negotiation, and marketing, particularly marketing as we move forward into 2018 with all the new social dynamics in the video. The analogy I like to use when I'm explaining this to new agents on the team is, you need to know this first, because you're not going to steer someone wrong. If you don't know this, but you're good at sales, negotiation, and marketing, that means you're good at convincing people and having some influence, but you actually don't know what you're doing. So you got to know this first. But you have to have all four to be a true, preeminent professional. So an analogy we use is, a lot of agents are like expert car drivers. They're expert, they know everything about the car. They can tell you the tires, there's everything there is to know about the car, but they don't know how to shift gears. You gotta know how to work it. Once you know the automobile, you still need to know how to drive. And by driving, I mean you know how to sell, you know how to negotiate, you know how to market. So you need all four. By God, please make sure when you hire your real estate agent, they're experts in these four things, because all four of those combined is going to help you go to the bank in a good way.